I have a question for you. God is talking to you. Are you listening? I'm asking again. God is talking to you. Are you listening? Because you might be surprised to know that God has been trying to talk to you all along. And there's times where He's been shouting. He's been knocking on your door, trying to get your attention. But sometimes we are so caught up with the things of life that we just do unstop to listen. We don't take the time to pay attention. So today, I want you to try something. When you hear what God is saying, let me know in the comment section if any of these 3 points hit home. Point no. 1. Where your focus is. There your treasure is. Many times God has tried to lead us, but our eyes are focused in the wrong direction. Proverbs 4:25 says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze at the path in front of your feet." There was a young man who was an apprentice under a master shoemaker. One day the master said to him, "Son, you are old enough to learn a new trade. You can make your own shoes now." The boy responded, "But I don't want to make shoes. I want to design shoes." The master said, "Shoes must first be made before you can design them. Only after you understand how to make shoes can you then design better ones." My friend, if you want to walk in God's will, you cannot focus on the wrong things. You have to make sure that your eyes are fixed on Jesus. Do not look at what you do not have, because God is about to open your eyes and show you what you do have. So many of us worry about what we don't have instead of focusing on what we do. You're not looking where your treasure is, so you'll never discover it. Point no. 2. Doing it your way or doing it God's way. Sometimes God tries to speak to us through His Word, through His Spirit, through people around us. But we choose to ignore all those voices and we decide to go our own way. 1 Samuel 15:23 says, "For rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness like the iniquity of idolatry. Because you have rejected my words, I will also reject you from being a kingdom." King Saul had disobeyed God's command by sparing Agag, the king of Amalek, and some of the best animals. When Samuel came to anoint Saul, God told Samuel, "Don't go back. I've rejected him as king." Samuel obeyed God's voice immediately. Can you imagine what went through Samuel's mind when he heard those words? Probably thought, "How can I tell Saul? How could God do this to him?" But Samuel didn't allow his emotions to cloud his judgment. He did not complain or argue with God. Instead, he listened to God's voice and obeyed. Beloved, sometimes when we hear God speaking to us, we tend to do one of 2 things. Either we totally obey Him or we rebel against Him. But remember, there is no middle ground. If you hear God's voice, then follow Him immediately. Listen, God is worthy to be praised whether you agree with Him or not. And even if you don't see the results right away, He deserves your praise because He knows what He is doing. Point no. 3. Where is your heart? Many times God has been trying to speak to us, but we don't listen because our hearts are far from Him. Psalm 103:19 says, "The Lord God has spoken. The Lord has received me back in favor, and you will be blessed if you seek Him and find Him. If you seek Him with all your heart." When God asked Elijah, "Who do people say I am?" Elijah replied with a long list of miracles that God had done. But God wasn't impressed with that answer. And Elijah continued to explain all the people who still served Baal and Asherah. God said, "I have been patient with Israel. I have observed them long and tested them. Now I will drive them away for another 400 years. Elijah interceded for Israel and reminded God that the people were only disobedient because their hearts had turned away from God. God accepted Elijah's plea, but He still warned him not to depart from there. Then God revealed to Elijah what He would do. "I have reserved 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed him." In other words, God showed Elijah that even though Israel had failed him, there were still people who remained faithful to God. Now, what's the lesson here? When God shows you the faults and shortcomings of others, it shouldn't cause you to condemn them, but rather help you remember to stay faithful to God yourself. Listen, when God is trying to speak to you, He wants your heart. He doesn't want your condemnation. When you realize that, you'll start to listen to what He has to say. So I have a question for you once again. God is talking to you. Are you listening? If you feel like God has been trying to speak to you, then write the word yes in the comment section. If you believe that God has a message for you, but you haven't heard it yet, write the word waiting in the comments below. If you think that your heart is far from God, causing you to miss His voice, write the word forgive in the comments section. If you want God to help you focus on Him alone, write the word help in the comments below. You know, there are so many distractions in this world that it's easy to miss God's voice. In fact, some of us have become experts at tuning out anything that sounds even remotely spiritual. But what if this is the moment God chose to speak to you? What if He wants to reveal His plans and give you directions for your future? You've been searching for a sign, wondering when you'll hear His voice. This could be it. This video, this moment, right now. John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." For Christians, knowing God's voice is essential because He uses it to guide us, protect us, and lead us into all truth. Imagine having a direct line to the most powerful being in the universe. Yet many believers struggle to hear His voice clearly. They rely on their feelings, their circumstances, and their own opinions instead of seeking God's guidance. God speaks in whispers. In moments like this, through a stranger's smile, a verse you see online. He may send you a dream or a vision at night, a song that touches your heart, a Bible passage that jumps out at you. These are all ways God tries to get our attention. But here's the secret. God doesn't always speak in loud, booming voices. Most of the time, He speaks in gentle whispers that require quiet and stillness to hear. Don't wait for lightning. His love often arrives in silence. That's why you need to stop scrolling down that social media feed. Pause watching that YouTube video and close the book you've been reading. Stop the noise and the chaos. Take a deep breath and listen for His voice. Ask Him to show you His face and guide you into all truth. Don't be afraid to be still. Don't fear the silence. In the quiet, you'll hear His whisper. And when you do, everything else will fade away. You'll know that this moment is between you and God alone. I have a question for you. God is talking to you. Are you listening? Make sure you let me know what you thought about this message in the comments section. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on any of our life-changing content. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.